Hey guys, Scott here. Today we're just going to talk about what the point of the PTB is in Dead by Daylight, because I don't understand it. It's so increasingly hard to defend the devs of this game. Like I still think they're all like wonderful, amazing people, but this should not be like acceptable for a company. And I'm not saying it's so incredibly broken that nothing functions, but imagine if like Valve released a new hero in Dota, and then under one of the patch notes it says, "Oh yeah, one of his abilities doesn't actually work, but it's fine. We'll just push him out there." They would never in a billion years ever do that. If something is not finished or something is not functional, you don't release the thing as a broken thing intentionally. You should never intentionally release broken things. That's just terrible business practice. And that's not like, bandwagoning on hate for behavior or anything like that. No business anywhere should ever do that. That's not something any company should be able to get away with. You shouldn't be able to intentionally release broken things. And yet behavior, like, they repeatedly do that. So it leads me to the question of what is the point of the PTB? If what we thought the point was, they release it, we test it, we find bugs, and then they fix those bugs for the release. That makes sense for the point of the PTB, right? But they release the PTB, we see the bugs happen, and then just 3 weeks later, nothing really changes, and then the bugs are still there, and it's just, what's the point? Nothing actually changes during the testing point, so if you're just going to release broken things intentionally, just fuck the PTB. There's no reason for it anymore. At least we'll get new content earlier. It's still going to be bugged, but at least we'll get it earlier. And there's just still so much bugged with this killer that it's just embarrassing. Like, even in the patch notes itself, like, it just made me crack up. Known issues for the twins. And then every single thing that Hoarder does doesn't work. So what this translates to is essentially known issues. One of the perks we designed does nothing. We've been designing this for at least 3 months, and it does nothing. Every single facet of the perk is broken. Not even saying it's a good perk or anyone's going to use it or anything like that, but the fact that they release a perk intentionally that's completely broken, it doesn't, like, how can you do that? And like Power Struggle, almost everything about Power Struggle can be broken. That's not a guaranteed one though. And I know one of Elodie's perks is screwed up. Appraisal can be bugged, like, and we're not even talking about the killer powers. These are just perks. And there's a giant bug where Victor can just straight up attack a survivor in a locker now, which is, in my opinion, too far on the other side. Like, we needed locker counterplay, right? But we needed, like, he can close the locker for a bit or something like that. Now you can glitchily just hit a survivor through the locker, which makes me think they were experimenting with that or something like that. And that was one of the ideas they had to circumvent the locker issue, but they like didn't remove it properly. And it's just a jumbled mess of jank. And so some remnants of it got stuck in there. So you can still kind of sometimes hit people in lockers. It's such a buggy mess, and they know it's a buggy mess, and they intentionally release it. And I have to say, why? Is it, like, why do they intentionally release buggy things? And the sad answer is, well, people must be buying it, because if they keep getting away with it, it's because people are letting them get away with it. So it's just as much the consumer's fault as it is for them. And that is just something you just can't ever really fix. You can't just say, hey guys, everybody stop buying their stuff, because that's never going to happen. So it seems like they're just going to keep doing this because there's no competition to the game and they can just get away with it. And I think it's mildly pathetic that they will intentionally release completely broken things. Like, don't get me wrong, every game has some bugs when, like, everything has bugs when it comes out. That's okay. Like having, like, occasionally, like, one facet of Hoarder doesn't work. Like, oh, sometimes the notification doesn't happen. We're working on a fix for that. That's fine. Whatever. That's not a big deal. I mean, they're human. Making a mistake every once in a while is fine. But there are so many broken, like, literally, my first game with this killer today, my first game on stream, I broke. I got stuck in place and I couldn't do anything. This is my first game. Like, how is this shit still happening? This is the kind of stuff that PTBs should be fixing. So I cannot comprehend how this stuff is happening. And I only have to guess they just know that there's no danger to their company if they just release broken shit intentionally. So they just keep doing it because it means they have to work less. People are still going to buy the same amount of shit, and nothing is really going to change because they have no competition. So it's kind of a sad state where both the consumers are responsible for purchasing this broken shit, and the developers are responsible for not caring that they're releasing broken shit. Because that's the only... I cannot imagine they take pride in their work when they knowingly release things when half of the shit doesn't even work. And then they have known... Like, there's something hilarious here, too. Where was it? The Twins bug fixes. Was it with Hoarder? Where was that? Here. So, under other PTB bug fixes... Fixed an issue that caused the extra chest to not be spawned when using the Hoarder perk. And then immediately under known issues, the perk does not spawn 2 extra chests. It's like there's so much miscommunication, they don't even know their own patch notes. Like, it's such a bumblefuck, disorganized embarrassment. And I'm like, I'm so sick of like trying to like just, you know, kind of teeter along like being, you know, nice, because they are good people. But either they're just lazy, incompetent, or they're just not evil, but just scummy, knowingly releasing broken shit because they just want to get your money faster. I don't know how to like, I sound like such a hipster now, like they just want your money now, bro, but it's becoming so hard to not say that when they release shit like this intentionally broken. Like, it's just pathetic. No, I feel like no other company could get away with this. Like, imagine like in League too, or like if, you know, Riot just released a champion that just, one of their abilities just, it's a button that doesn't do anything. Like, could you imagine the fucking backlash from that? I don't know how they get away with it. It's a shame, and it's just sad, man. I'm just really disappointed with them. Like I said, it's not, you know, it doesn't ruin the entire game. There's a bunch of other bugs, by the way. I see, you don't get devout emblems now for hooking people sometimes, so you get 12 hooks and you still de-pip. Hillbilly's chainsaw is just overheating randomly for no reason. You just walk around, there's still, of course, the slew of other bugs that happens every other patch, but it's what a disappointment, man. Like, I'm so disappointed in them. That's really all I got. I'm just fucking disappointed. Thanks for watching, guys.